concentrate on your exhale. It's very, very important. Exhale through your body, okay? So you're basically sending energy through your body. Now, of course, in the tradition of the Eastern religions and yoga, breath is life. So you're sending life through your body. You might want to see it as pink cotton candy breath, or you might want to augment it as shining liquid emerald breath, but send that through your body. And then I like to take a few deep cleansing breaths and then inhale through your nose to the count of 6, exhale through your mouth to the count of 4, and hold for the count of 2. So when you are taking these breaths, you will exert love. And the Buddha, who I'm not that fond of, but he says something good here. He says, when you give and expect a return, that's an investment. But when you give and expect nothing, that's pure love. So send pure love, because you'll expect nothing, but amazing things will come. Now, I don't call them miracles. One of my spiritual teachers, Rocco Errico, who's an amazing Aramaic scholar, defined miracles as unexplainable, but wonders are the works of God, and works are the works of God. So Lao Tzu says, be deeply loved by someone or something. And when you're deeply loved, you have courage. I invite you all to invite love into your body so you have courage to face the day here. These are very difficult times because we're being barraged by lies. Very important to gain this discernment of coming to your heart, your solar plexus, and your gut, and ask, is this true? Is this true? Is this somewhat true? Is there a little kernel of truth? What is that kernel of truth? We were not made to be idiots. Every person on earth is brilliant in their own way. Every person has their own gifts. And it's important in discernment to be able to say, this is my gift. Now, in my life, I always knew I was supposed to do something. My father was science and math and science and math. And I liked acting. I liked children's theater. I liked talking to people. But I went through, and I did research at Stanford, and I did research at SRI, and I loved talking to the scientists. We used to go to all these conventions, sneak out of the boring session, go to the bar, and we'd find 1 or 2 scientists who are also bored, and we sit down, have a drink, and pick their brain. Now, why do we do this? We wanted to know more. Be curious about your world. Decide you don't know. That's the beginning of wisdom, that you don't know and you wish to know. Ask the universe, ask the God, ask the sky, ask the earth. Say, I wish to know in the way that the birds and the animals know. I wish to know the truth. Now, when you say that, the universe cannot help but respond and start giving you stuff. Now, you can't have your ears closed, and you can't say, like a lot of my clients at first say, oh, that was my imagination. I said, well, it doesn't matter what it was. Was it true? Because we always think, oh, if it's not science, if it's not three-dimensional, it's my imagination. We are not three-dimensional, we're multi-dimensional. The more multi-dimensional we are, the more powerful we are, because we can hold more love, we can give more love, we can know more. Now, in this vibration workshop, coming back to it, it showed that if you are willing to come to joy and peace, higher vibration of joy and peace, that any virus that enters your body will have to explode because it cannot stand the environment in which it finds itself. Now, this is really important because I see people who are terrified. They don't want to leave the house. They don't really want to talk to anybody, including me, but they do. They want to have everything delivered, and they're terrified, horrified. I talked to my cousin, oh my God, didn't you read this? And didn't you know all these people are dying? And didn't you know blah, 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 blah. And I said, what I know is God is, all is well. God is love. I need to send more love. God bless her. She swallowed the Kool-Aid and she's in the fear factor. What happens when you're in fear? You're susceptible to every single nasty germ, virus, bacteria, fungus that you can get. People who are terrified have no immune system. It shuts off your immune system. You go to fight or flight. What happens there is that all the functions here in the heart, the brain, gut go away, and we pump our adrenal glands full of adrenaline. It's very powerful hormone, and it goes out to the end of our body, and our muscles get filled because we're ready to either run or to kill somebody. Now, when we do that, and we're constantly doing that, which for a year and I don't know, 6 months, we've been told we should be afraid. The news media, oh, fear, oh, bad, oh. Stop. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to listen to the Spirit. I'm going to listen to the God. I'm going to listen to truth. I wish to know what is true. What is true is you are, and you are perfect. You know, I always say in Greek, perfect means already complete. It means within yourself and with your guidance, because your guidance is always there with you all the time. And the universal energy, you can know anything, you can be anything that your heart desires. I'm not saying everybody's going to be a concert pianist, but I'm saying what your heart desires. See, I never knew what my heart desires because I grew up with a family of brilliant people. My father was an engineer. He could play the piano, the violin. He could speak 7 languages. He was a contractor. He could build. He was a plumber. He was an electrician. And when I was in college and studying French, and my French book was gone, my father had stolen it, was in the bathroom. Knock, knock, knock. Where's my French book? I'm teaching myself French. So I felt less than. My sister probably had a 200 IQ, my brother. I mean, all these people. And I had some kind of reading disability or something that was going on. I found out later that probably I was allergic to the quart of milk we had to drink every day because my father regulated our diet and the wheat, one of the bread. But anyway, so I didn't find my path till finally I was becoming a bioenergetic therapist. And I love Wilhelm Reich. And none of the therapists understood me at all. And I went and had a reading with a woman named Kay Beck from Kansas in Sherman Oaks, California. She said, honey, you're just really psychic and no one's talked to you about it. You're really open. Here's some books to read, go to some meetings and start dealing with it. And that changed. I stepped into a different universe and I began to understand myself so much more, where I could tell my fellow bioenergetic therapists, well, we're kind of missing the boat here and there. All right. But I began to ask for truth, and I began to know what truth is. You won't know unless you ask. You can't win the lottery unless you enter. You won't be able to enjoy the outside unless you go outside, which I recommend everybody go outside to the park, bring something to eat, bring a ball, either a soccer ball or volleyball, and run around. You know, I usually like to be around kids so I can run around and then I can roll on the ground and laugh silly. Be silly. Silliness activates the heart, raises the vibration, activates the whole solar plexus, because this is our inner child here, and allows you to relax. In metaphysics, relaxation brings realization. That means as you relax, you're more receptive and you can listen better, and then you can start discerning the truth. So loving more, asking. You've got to ask, what is true? I couldn't figure out, why were we sitting in Afghanistan? I've been attending UCLA classes where these gals do sensory motor therapy with these Afghan vets. And oh my God, here are two young 19-year-old precious beings saying, there's nothing you can do for us. We're monsters. We can't live in any other place except war. We know how to kill people. Don't make us come back to society. We will kill ourselves. What is that? Why? Because somebody needs to get richer. And that's the truth. And it's hard for me to look at that. It's hard for me to know that, because I deal with families of veterans. I had friends that were shot up in various wars. It's really hard to believe that those people are willing to make billions of dollars off of our young children. So I want you to get your truth, know your truth, because, okay, let go of the judgment, let go of the judgment, decide you are loved, start sending love to these people. They obviously weren't loved very much at all, if at all. I have this book, Love I Am, then I'm writing Who Do You Think You Are Anyway? And then the third book, which I've been writing for a while, is called The Other Side of Torture, which it's about sadomasochism, which I spoke about, Mark, in one of your seminars. And it's not the sexual, it's the social and psychological. There was a room full, probably about 150 people. And one person raised their hand and go, why are you bringing this here? Why are you bringing this to this kind of activity? They were really angry at me. And I said, that's a good question. I said, does anybody in the room have an answer? Why would I do that? And then I began to talk about how tormented we are and how unloving we are to ourselves and others. We don't even know it. How many of us have truly been loved unconditionally? Probably nobody. But so many of us have been used. We are something to be used to satisfy either mom's ego or dad's ego. And we learn that we are not worthy. And that is an insult to this amazing, the most advanced animal creation in our universe is us. And it's a real insult, and we build rage. But we can't express that rage, so we don't. So we harbor it inside, because we know if we insult mom or dad, hey, we may be out on the street. We may not have a place to live. We may not have any money. We don't know. Or maybe dad or mom will beat us. We don't know. And then I'll say this because all these young kids who go to the, I say big five, but go to the gun store, buy a big Uzi and go somewhere and shoot up a bunch of people. And everybody goes, oh, how could that happen? Well, it's happened. It's happened, and it's because nobody was paying attention to these people. No one was sending love. No one was saying, hey, there's some things here we need to work on. There's some issues. So I invite you all to take a trip inside yourself and really work on your discernment, really work on loving more, taking love breaks. Throughout this book, I have wonderful quotes from Zarathustra. Doing good to others is not a duty, it is a joy, for it increases your own love, health, and happiness. Now think about that. It's true. It actually is scientifically true that when you do an act of goodness, it stimulates the production of serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine in your brain. Okay, serotonin is the self-esteem. Dopamine is the, I'm happy, and it calms your blood pressure. It reduces your stuff in your veins. So in Buffy St. Marie, I quoted her that love lifts us up where we belong, where the eagles cry on a mountain high. Love lifts us up where we belong. Okay, so we are created in love, for love, sending love, and as you love, you'll be able to say what is true all the time, what is true for me, what is true, what is somewhat true, what is mostly true, but only through dissolving these negative programs, putting love in. When you dissolve it, love rushes in, putting more and more and more and more love in. Think about it when you want to get into a fight with somebody, which I'm really good at. What's happening in that? It's your ego has been bruised. It's not loving. And you somehow want to make the person less than. And that doesn't work for anybody. So stop yourself. You know, in Aramaic and Hebrew, I am that I am. Air, Esher, air. Understanding that you are God and God is you. So the greatest happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved for ourselves, loved in spite of ourselves, loved in spirit. That's Victor Hugo. Okay, I think I've spoken almost all of my time. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything? Thank you. Philip Wilson, thank you. Yeah, I hope Sean David Morton speaks. I've missed him terribly. I think he's amazing and wonderful. And there's
I mean, it's funny that yesterday they let him out of jail in the morning, and then they flew him into Utah and then California. And when he hit California, he called me, and I said, you know, we was like, wow, because we've been texting a lot. But he said, I said, well, you want to come on the show tomorrow? He's like, yeah, of course.
Oh, that's so great. Oh, I've missed him terribly. I send him a lot of love and light. I've sent a lot of love and light because I know what a great.
They couldn't kill him. They tried every way to kill him. They should have let him out over a year and a half ago with this compassionate release. Instead, you know, they tried to kill him. And then he's getting better, so they put him back in. Then they put him in his hospital, give him the medicine, and then he gets staph and MRSA in the hospital, you know.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to kill him because he has a very bright spirit and he has a lot of truth to give people. And it's really important to listen to him and his latest insights because he wants to know the truth. And he has been a real pinnacle of telling the truth and what happens, but they weren't going to kill him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No.
Yeah. And he has great. Well, he's great. I think he's one of the brightest minds around. And he makes great predictions. And he was in the health. I mean, his mom was. I remember his mom. His mom was the president of the National Health Federation. So those were the shows before Whole Life, before New Life, before any life. You know, it was the National Health Federation.
And yes.
My main teachers were in that. I remember Dr. Christopher with herbs and Bernard Jensen and
oh yeah, I love Bernard Jensen.
And more, you know.
Yeah. No, I know that juicing Dr. Pavel
Paulo Solari.
Yes, he was amazing. He turned his hair brown when he was in his 80s or 90s, and because it was white, he turned it brown again. And he died because he got hit by a car. He didn't die because he was old.
Right.
You know, and we're now seeing people. There's a gal who runs, I think she's run 3 or 4 marathons and she's 105.
I love it.
It's great. It's really great. And it just shows how programmed we've been, you know? So anyway, thank you. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be with everyone, and pleasure to be with you, Mark. Thank you.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we go forward. So we have to stick together, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
So people can buy your book on Kindle, yeah?
You can buy it on Kindle. You can buy it the Nook, Barnes and Noble. You can buy it on my website. Amazon has all the electronic. This is already on Amazon, Love I Am, in the electronic version. So you can go there and look. Doesn't have the CD that this book has, but it has a little meditation CD in it, which I think is really cute. I like it. Love I Am. And of course it's pink, so it definitely has to do that. Anyway, yeah. So please go to my website, CatherineAthansPhD.com. It's Catherine, Catherine, last name Athans, not ENS. And
www.angelsisland.com is the website.
yes. 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 There you go. Thank you for putting it up. So
Magic.
yeah, so you have my podcasts are on there. I've been doing radio shows, and so some of my radio interviews are on there. So there's a lot of stuff on there.
And
That's
again,
good.
if anybody wants to, we made the show free for everybody. So if anybody wants to buy all the videos, we'll have all 24 videos. It's only $49. And you just go to the newlifeexpo.com website. Actually, I'll put on how to get it. Boom, boom, boom. And then you'll have all the videos of everybody, because it was impossible to see everybody.
I think that's a great idea. And I'm writing it down now. So, because that's a real gift, Mark.
Yeah, pretty good. And no, because some things you don't remember what people said. And so, and then you can have expo parties.
That's true.
There it is. It's newlifeexpo.com/product/virtual-expo-videos/. But we have the panel, we have Sean Morton, we have Phil, we have everybody. We take all the rooms, Alan, Stephen Halpern, So
Yes.
you have the videos, you can show your friends. You can look at all the people you missed. You can look at all the people you want to reminisce and say, oh yeah, I forgot they said that. And it'll be helping us out. And
That's great.
that's the story.
That's good.
Yeah.
Why don't you
that's
tell us
fabulous.
about your next event, Mark?
What's that?
Why don't you tell us about your next event?
I'm not sure. The next one in New York is October 22nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Hotel New Yorker, and then January 22nd, 23rd in the Doubletree Hilton Hotel in Boca, Florida. The next virtual one, not too sure. We'll set that up. We're going to do a virtual workshop with Sean David Morton, so we can raise some money for his comeback. They kind of lost everything there, and we're just going to keep going to newlifeexpo.com, and we finally got the website together again, and you'll constantly be in touch with us what to do. We have a New Life store that's pretty awesome. And in fact, now I have this over. We're putting this Phil sauna and other things on it. We have EMF products, nutritional products. And what is your event, Sherry?
Next Saturday, same time, 1 o'clock to 10 o'clock.
So 1 o'clock, 10 o'clock, Sherry is doing a psychic healing Zoom, and you can find her on
HealersNetworkFair.com.
Healers Network.
Fair.com.
Healers Network /
No, just fair.
the
HealersNetworkFair.com.
There.
Fair, F-A-I-R.
Oh,
Fair.
fair.
Yeah,
That's
you're an expo, I'm a fair.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Nice.
you're the big guy. You got the expo, I'm the fair with the fairies.
There you go.
She has all the fairies.
That's
I am.
nice.
Yeah, but yeah, we all got to do what we got to do. And Phil, how do you love living? You still love living out there, huh? Well, you're muted. You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah,
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
What was your question?
I said you still love living out there.
I love living in Vegas. I'm living in Vegas. It's great, see?
Wow.
Las Vegas, baby. Did you ever see Dannion out there at all?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times. He's doing good.
Yeah, and Joe Blanton, you see him there?
Yeah, I saw him last weekend in Albuquerque, and I've seen him of 3 or 4 times in the last couple months at different shows.
What shows have been happening?
Well, we had the Extraordinary Technology Conference in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I sold 21 saunas there. It was a great show. There's about 100 people there. Extraordinary Technology with Tesla technology was the focus. It was excellent.
Ooh, oh my God. I want to hear about that.
They have it every August in Albuquerque.
How many people showed up?
About 100, 150.
And you sold 25%?
Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Well,
Good job.
I spoke, and 2 years ago I sold 18. They're open to this sort of thing with new technology, and the Relax Sauna uses an extraordinary technology to do what they do.
Oh, I love it. And what other shows?
And then we did the 5D Expo in Las Vegas, and Michael Jaco spoke there, and it was very good. And he bought a sauna. We did the 5D Expo in Sedona. That wasn't so hot, but it was a good show. It was very intimate. And then I've done some medical shows. I've done 3 or 4 medical shows in Sarasota for biological dentists. I did a show, and I did 2 shows in South Dakota. And I did a show in Dallas. Sherry Tenpenny was there, and she was excellent. She bought 2 saunas from me. And Dr. Rashid Buttar had a show in South Dakota. And there's 500, 600, 700 people there. Dr. Christiane Northrup spoke. Dr. Kaufman spoke. A lot of good speakers.
Where's South Dakota?
In Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That was the first week, last week of May. And then the first week of June, there was an expo called Red Pill Expo done by G. Edward Griffin. And that was excellent as well. Both shows, we sold like 24 saunas at each conference.
Wow.
But these are Red Pill Expos. These are people who are telling the truth, exposing the lies. Just like what Catherine talked about. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. I talk about the media. They lie, and then they lie.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of wild. That what's really wild is that the population are like sheep. And I don't know how everybody became like sheep, and it's been like that a long time. I mean, in the 60s, 70s, we were trying to teach people how to take responsibility for themselves, how not to rely on the government. The letters are different. Before it was FBI and CIA, now it's FME and FDA, but it's the same people. And less people like get it. They're just sheep.
Wano Savin suggests that the United States is due to have a near-death experience, and that would be great.
Yeah. Even though, you never know.
I don't think,
What's that, Kat?
I don't think that, I think that it has been, Nixon, when he was in office and we were coming for him, he told the Trilateral Commission, you got to dumb these kids down. These kids are way too smart. And we've had 2.5, close to 3 generations of dumbing down. And then they invented the electronics, the device.
Right.
And so the device takes the place in the brain of language and empathy. So we've created these kind of people that have nothing inside and always relying on a device or Facebook, not coming in contact with someone. Because, when we sit in front of each other and we're together, in reality, we're stimulating each other's neural networks. We're stimulating our ability to know more. And so it's really clear that there's a force going on to separate all of us and to keep us in deep fear. And a lot of these people have nothing inside. They haven't developed their inner sources.
Right.
And so they rely on the lies of the news or the lies of the newspapers or, lies of certain people. And they forgot to be spiritual and go to the source, the universe, for their information.
Too many people have entitlement issues. They just feel entitled. Everybody feels entitled. If you have nothing, you're entitled. If you have a lot, you're entitled.
It's true. It's true. It's sad. We forgot.
Yeah.
We have to remember.
Well, that's why we're all here, to help each other remember. Well, that's why we're on the planet, to help each other remember, like, how to live on this planet.
Well, that's true. Not about going into space.
Right.
I mean, that's nice and everything. But, if we developed ourselves, we would be able to go between dimensions.
That's
We
right.
could turn our bodies into light bodies and go through time. We could go visit other places in time and space in an instant. But we're so heavy here in this body and so full of wrong programming that, we have to have this big old thing thrust us up into space. We don't really need that if we could be who we were designed to be. And so there's been so much programming, so much to make us feel less than.
And the biggest program has been the last couple of years, which is the fear program.
Fear program, yes. Keep people in fear. Well, who said that? I think it was Marx. Keep people in fear and ignorance and you control them.
Right.
I think that was Marx, but I wasn't sure.
It was somebody, but I mean, basically, that's it. Fear creates anger. Fear is the opposite of love. And, lowers your immune system and turns ease into disease, and it stresses people out, Then they turn on CNN and then they know they're going to die. So it doesn't even matter anymore.
Well, yes. And unfortunately, I hear a lot of spiritual people saying a lot of terrible things. And I say, stop talking like that. Get your mind out of the gutter, get your mind out of fear, and remember that, what is it that you're spiritual about? Because there's love here. If you're in the present, you can't help but being happy and loving. And we have to be in the present,
And if you happen to get sick, you just have to keep yourself strong,
Well, you keep your immune system strong by vitamin D. We need at least 5,000. You can go 5,000 zinc. We need 2,000 vitamin C every day, but we need to laugh every day.
Yeah.
We need to also do some service, some good for someone every day, because that's part of why we're here, is to help each other. And that helps the immune system.
Yeah.
It balances us,
Right. See, that's why I believe that, even if people get it, even if they strengthen the immune system and they get it, they keep the immune system strong, then it'll just pass through,
Yeah, things pass through. I have a few people who got it and I advised them and they got over it or through it, and it wasn't that big a deal.
Right.
Well,
also,
I think as we learn to quit judging people, the antidote to judgment I discovered recently was to observe. And interestingly enough, observe comes from the word serve. So when we're observing, we're serving, and there's only one thing to serve, and that's that which you are, or what you could call God. So you want to, you know, and when you judge yourself, that's called guilt, and that just it makes the whole thing go over and over again. So you don't want to judge yourself. You want to enjoy. When you're doing something that you would think guilty, you want to simply enjoy yourself, and otherwise you sentence yourself to repeat it, because judging is a vicious circle, but when you serve, that's a vital circle.
Very good.
I like that.
Thanks.
Mhm. Wonderful. Well, this is a lovely conversation.
Well, I'm getting ready for a hurricane. So,
God bless you. Yes, it's coming.
well, you know, I'm 3 feet from the beach. So,
I didn't know that.
yeah. So,
By the way, I will be at the Conscious Life Expo. They're having that in LA in 3 weeks. T.
now,
Solis,
how is that? Is that live or is that not live?
T. Solis says it's live and it's still going on. She just texted me that.
Uh-huh. Because when I looked online at it, it didn't seem, I don't know, it seemed, it didn't seem like it was live.
Is T. Solis still here? Maybe she can say something.
Yeah. But, you know, hopefully it pulls it up, because we got to keep spreading the word any way possible. And the more they try to make us not do it, you know, now the events we're going to, they're making you vaccinated, they make you wear a mask. So,
Oh, no, only one show where did they make, none of the shows have I had to wear masks at all, except for the health food store show for health food store owners in Florida. And they did that about 1/10 the time. But, you know, my philosophy on wearing masks is I don't, unless for some reason what I want is more important than you know, wearing the mask. And I have a pair of old underwear I use this is, instead of giving them the finger, I just wear my a pair of old underwear that I wash.
that's the one with the brown spots in the back and yellow spots in the front?
No. And then I rarely, you know, they make me put on a mask, and so I put it on, and then I instantly take it off my nose, and 99% of the people don't say a thing, or 90% don't. And it's like just so humorous. I mean, but it's, again, you know, they're lying and they're not telling the truth, and so you just find a way. It's like learning how to play dodgeball. You learn how to dodge, and it's riding that cosmic wave inside you that directs you. And if you listen to the cosmic wave, well, there's a saying I was given while meditating about 24 years ago. It's momentum, taking advantage of the moment, propelling yourself into greatness. And what that means, taking advantage of the moment is different than living in the moment, because when you're taking advantage of the moment, you're living in the moment and you're listening. You're listening to the inner wisdom, that voice of silence. And when that wave comes through, it just you get in front of it, and then it propels you into greatness. And so that's like a practical definition of how to practice the presence of God. Momentum, taking advantage of the moment, propelling yourself into greatness. And I was fortunate to be given that while meditating in 1997. And yeah, I didn't.
And then he got Momentum 98.
That's how I got the name of my company. Yes.
Okay, everybody, I'm gonna like end the meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for everything.
Everybody, thank you. Thank you, Vicki.
I'm buying Catherine's book now from her website.
Oh, thank you.
I'm all excited. And I'm buying Mark's tapes, all the videos right now too.
Oh, good. I'm going to buy the videos as well. Thank you so much.
So thank you, everybody. Thanks for your support. We'll be sending everybody emails, and you know, stay tuned to newlifeexpo.com.
Perfect. We will.
Hey,
In New York.
The New Life Expo is going to be in Florida, you said, in October?
No, New York City, October 22.
New York City. Okay. All right.
Florida, January 22, 23.
Okay, good.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Vicki, Good night.
Yeah, good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
So Vicky, you'll shut everything down?